Hong Kong police have announced fresh new arrest warrants for 6 anti-government activists living overseas, and the police have added a hefty bounty. The activists were part of the political dissent that followed massive protests in 2019. Julia Chapman joins us now from London. And Julia, tell us about these new arrest warrants.
Well, 6 people have been added to the Hong Kong wanted list under the new, fairly restrictive national security laws that have been implemented on the Chinese-governed island over the last couple of years. Now, 4 of them are based here in the UK, 2 of them in Canada, and they've been added for offences ranging from inciting secession and collusion with a foreign country to subversion, and that charge was levelled at Victor Ho, who is a Canadian-based YouTuber. There are a number of people who have been carrying out their advocacy from abroad, having fled Hong Kong in the last few years, fearing persecution like this. We saw a number of people in the island arrested and charged for similar charges. So many people have chosen to go to countries like Canada, come to the UK where they feel safer. But today's announcement for many was very shocking. They were surprised to find their names on the list. And not only have they been issued arrest warrants, there is also a bounty for any information that could lead to their arrest. The authorities in Hong Kong say that their activities are a threat to national security. Mainland China authorities say that the individuals engaged in anti-China and destabilizing acts, and most of them were involved in the wave of protests, pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong in 2019. That led to a pretty tough crackdown from authorities the following year that we're still seeing play out today.
And these are pretty hefty bounties, as we've been reporting. I know that you've spoken to some of those wanted now living in Britain. What are they saying?
That's right. The bounties are for 185,000 Canadian dollars. And I have been speaking to Cameron Lau, who's a former district councillor in Hong Kong. She moved to the UK after refusing to take a new oath when China tightened its grip on Hong Kong. She refused to pledge allegiance and felt it safer to leave the country. She would like to see the UK government, the Canadian government respond to this announcement with targeted sanctions. She wants the Hong Kong economic and trade offices overseas to be closed. She says that she will not be deterred by the announcement, by the knowledge that she has now been added to the list, although she did describe it as a surprise. She continues to carry out campaign work from abroad. I've also been speaking to Chloe Chung, who is a 19-year-old activist. She took part in those protests 5 years ago at just the age of 14, and she says that she was surprised to find herself on the list as well, but she does believe that it has indicates that the authorities in Hong Kong are still fearful of pro-democracy protesters like her, and she believes it's an endorsement that she's doing the right thing.
I think for me, work still has to be done. I continue my advocacy for Hong Kong democracy and freedom, even I'm now in exile. So I'm still persisting, and I don't think that the arrest warrant and the bounty would stop me from doing that.
That was Carmen Lau, who I mentioned earlier, and she has vowed, as we've been hearing, to continue doing her advocacy work from outside of Hong Kong. But she says that today's announcement does make her feel somewhat less safe living abroad.
Julia Chapman for us in London. Thank you, Julia.